Thank you for your patience. We'll begin.
Greenwood, Oklahoma, 1921. The north side of Tulsa was a prosperous community, exclusively black, because Jim Crow laws prohibited Negroes from living in white neighborhoods, where it was said more than 3,000 Ku Klux Klan members resided in the area. At that time, there were countless all-black communities, like Greenwood, scattered throughout the U.S., 60 in Oklahoma Territory alone. Greenwood, however, was the jewel of Negro America. Though white Tulsans called it Middle Africa, Booker T. Washington gave it the name we know it as today, Black Wall Street. And it was the wealthiest black community in America, where black men and women came to pursue the American dream. It boasted black-owned banks, pharmacies, grocery stores, movie theaters, restaurants, churches, newspaper publishing, law offices, a bus company, its own school district, where the average student wore a uniform with a suit and tie, a business college, a hospital with an entire black staff, and an internationally acclaimed surgeon. Black millionaires, which Greenwood was known to have had more millionaires residing there than the entire United States combined. And of the only 2 airports in the state of Oklahoma, one of them was for the half-dozen private airplanes owned by its black oil tycoons. To top it off, the minimum wage and living standard of a resident of Black Wall Street far exceeded that of the average white citizen of Tulsa. But on May 30th, 1921, all that changed. Dick Rowland, a shoeshine boy, entered the elevator in the Drexel building to use one of the only few colored bathrooms in downtown Tulsa. On the top floor, Sarah Page, a 17-year-old, a white elevator operator, began operating the elevator when it lurched, causing Rowland to stumble. He bumped into Sarah, and she screamed. Rowland, knowing what Frederick Douglass had penned as the truth with regards to the treatment of black men in America, to be accused was to be convicted, and to be convicted was to be punished. In this case, punishment, when it came to the accusations of a white woman, meant death, and knowing her scream was a likely death sentence. Young Rowland ran away. He was later seized and apprehended with the intent of being lynched. Word of a black man raping a defenseless white girl spread throughout the Tulsa area. Dozens and then hundreds, until a mob of over 2,000 white men gathered at the county courthouse demanding justice. But justice for what? Sarah Page wasn't assaulted. Her clothes weren't ruffled. And though her story wavered during questioning, she ultimately affirmed she was not harmed. Moreover, she refused to sign a statement saying that she had been raped. But don't let the facts get in the way of a false accusation of a black man who needed to be put in his place at the end of a rope. The Tulsa Tribune reported,
"A Negro assaults a white girl.
And later,
To lynch Negro tonight."
with no basis in fact for the allegations of rape, the mob persisted in their demand for justice of a white girl who emphatically stated that no injustice had been done. Walter White of the New York Evening Post wrote,
Chief of Police John A. Gustafson, Sheriff McCullough, Mayor T.D. Evans, and a number of reputable citizens, among them prominent oil operator, all declared the girl had not been molested, that no attempt at criminal assault had been made. Victor F. Barnett, managing editor of the Tribune, stated that his paper had since learned that the original story that the girl's face was scratched and her clothes torn was untrue.
and there you have it, fake news. But the damage had already been done, and the wheels were set in motion. Armed black World War I veterans were among the less than 100 members of the Greenwood community who came to prevent another lynching of a black man, as thousands had been lynched since the generation of Reconstruction. A verbal confrontation led to a shot being fired, triggering what would soon become the most bloody racial conflict in American history. Some 500 members of the white mob were armed and deputized by city officials, and those who didn't own weapons looted stores to obtain guns and ammunition along the way. Thousands of angry white men descended upon Little Africa, as a few white families provided sanctuary to those fleeing from violence. Over the course of 24 hours, the mob looted, murdered, and razed the wealthiest black city in America to the ground. Eyewitness testimony stated a dozen or more planes circled the black area, dropping burning turpentine balls over the city of Greenwood, and firing bullets at black residents young and old, gunning them down in the streets. It was the first and only time Americans used planes to attack and kill its own citizens, as it destroyed an entire city. Authorities engaged in a concerted effort to prevent help from arriving until considerable damage was done, by cutting off communication requesting help, blocking transportation ways of firefighters and ambulances, and even preventing the Red Cross from coming in earlier to help the injured and terrorized community.
As they passed the city's most traveled street, they held both hands high above their heads, their hats in one hand as a token of their submission to the white man's authority. They will not return to the homes they had on Tuesday afternoon, only the heaps of ashes, the angry white man's reprisal for the wrong inflicted on them by the inferior race. Tulsa Tribune.
Following the massacre, insurance companies refused to compensate the residents, though the city and its officials were found negligent in preventing it. Decades of silence about the terror, violence, and theft passed. There were no convictions for any of the charges related to the murders or violence. Not one white person was ever held responsible for these crimes, though dozens of black men were indicted for inciting a riot. Government and city officials not only failed to invest and rebuild the once thriving Greenwood community, but blocked efforts to do so, and even actively sought to appropriate their land. The crime wasn't acknowledged by the city or the state of Oklahoma for over 70 years, rarely mentioning it in history books, classrooms, or even in private. Most residents grew into middle age, completely unaware of what had taken place. Even a report detailing the history of Tulsa's fire department from 1897 to 2017 made no mention of the massacre. And on that Memorial Day weekend, June 1st, 1921, Greenwood, Oklahoma, was brought to an abrupt end. Black Wall Street was wiped off the map. 300 African Americans murdered, possibly more. Thousands injured. More than 10,000 left homeless. 40 city blocks burned to the ground, and the few homes left were completely looted. The Tulsa Real Estate Exchange estimated property losses amounting to the equivalent of more than $32 million in today's money. Unbeknownst to most, Tulsa's Black Wall Street wasn't the only black town to be ethnically cleansed in America. It wasn't the only city forgotten, nor was it the only black town where no one was ever arrested, prosecuted, or where victims were never compensated. Time has passed, memories have faded, and survivors have died, taking the knowledge of not only how the cities were destroyed, but arguably even more tragic, the knowledge of how these countless all-black towns were built. Can a biblical blueprint be extrapolated from what we found? That is indeed our challenge, to cooperate, coordinate, and collaborate in order to turn our desolate neighborhoods into thriving communities and build them up by utilizing the keys to economic and societal development. Let us rediscover, let us reunite, and let us rebuild a new Black Wall Street. Black Wall.
Okay, what do you think, guys? I gotta start letting.
Can I share?
Absolutely, everyone can share. So it's a forum, but it also is we have a panel that we will have speaking shortly. We'll present them as they come into the space. And what we'll do is from there, we will be having our own discussions on the matter. It is a community conversation, we believe. All right, so talk to me. What you got to say?
I was aware of a lot of stuff. I know a lot of people may not be, so I do not take that for granted at all. My dad put me in communities where, whether I wanted to be there or not, I was there. So, I saw a play that talked about Black Wall Street, and then fast forward is also in the African American Museum and talking about other places, not just Tulsa, that this happened to. What I did not know or aware of is that the planes used by our own state to bomb, that's what I did not know. So that was very disheartening. It's still disheartening, but that's even more disheartening to know that they had like jet fighter type planes bomb. That's just,
Actually, they weren't. Most of them were, because I want you to think about the planes that would have been available at that time.
Okay.
I want you to think about the planes that would have been available. They used turpentine bombs that could be dropped from a crop dusting bomb, a crop dusting plane. Guys, you can drop a Molotov cocktail out of one of those and set a very large fire. It wasn't difficult to fathom that. What was difficult to fathom is that it would go to that extreme. Who would think that anybody, your neighbor, let alone your neighbor, would do that to you? I'm gonna be honest, I got my own theories about how this went down or why, but my concern is I want to explore the missing, because there was I want you to just talk about what happened before the massacre. You know what I'm saying? Let's get around to why this was a big deal. Why was this a big deal? Talk to us.
Because the segregation in your own town.
You can't be heard over there, right? Speaking to yourself. Anybody heard that?
No.
Thomas, you're gonna have to come over and say something. Say something.
No, I'm just saying the segregation was caused by the basic Jim Crow rights that they already put in place. You could work in certain towns, but you couldn't live there, you couldn't shop, you couldn't do any commerce. So what's left to do? You have to shop amongst yourself. They opened the door to the one thing they didn't want: self-sufficiency.
And success above their component, above what their white components were doing, because these was among the wealthiest town in the states. They didn't say in that state, the states. The most millionaires came out of that town, not the state. Let's really think, let's speak to that. And so I liked what Morgan Freeman said at the very end, because, he was talking about the blueprint. And so welcome to Black Girls Do Crypto, Black Wall Street Re-Envisioned. Because the cause was true. It was a strong cause and it was working.
Yes. And blueprint is key.
Exactly. I want us to talk about design, because they really, to tell the truth, the blueprint was burned off the earth and then silenced. It was burned. How to restructure and where it came from, its history wiped away.
Yeah.
We know what caused it, Now, I can tell you right now, no one who was part of segregation, or I should say the powers that be were a part of segregation, ever expected that the black culture would have that kind of success and those kinds of, they would be able to create that for themselves. Separate, following the laws. Separation. If you want separation, you got separation. Ms. B, you can, this open conversation, anyone open your mic, it's open for us to have. Please.
Yeah.
Do keep in mind this is live, so you want to just be in the conversation because we can see your hands.
Right. Okay.
Hop in. It's okay.
Yes. I mean, it's like it said like Mr. Freeman said in the beginning. You had black schools, you had black businesses. Everything was functioned by blacks in those particular black wealthy neighborhoods, and then to go from there, for us to be so successful, and they were just, to me, they were just totally envious and selfish, of us. They didn't like it also said, they didn't want us really to come to their stores, we couldn't go to their barbershop. We had to eat in the back room of the restaurants and all this kind of stuff, or like we do today, order out. So, with the vision to take care of our own selves by our own blacks, having black businesses and schools and things of that sort, and by us being successful, it irritated and to the nth degree the whites, and so it was like, well, hey, they got these successful cities in different states and different parts of different states. So that incident with the young black man, irritated them. I mean, this was one black boy. He was not even, I don't think he was even he wasn't even 21. So to take that incident where the white girl finally told the truth, even though she didn't want to sign a statement, and it really didn't matter that she didn't sign the statement.
From the beginning, she wasn't participating with it. It was the media and the police at the time. I'm going to share that with you.
Okay.
The young lady did not cause that. As a matter of fact, he said it, but someone heard it. Now I want to share something. It was extreme.
Yes.
It was too extreme. It was too well organized.
Right.
Thousands of people showing up in a matter of hours from places. There weren't thousands of people in that local area.
Right.
Or were there? So I let folks know, let's not forget that there are underlying feelings that it may just be already on a
yes,
hair,
that ignited the incident,
and already ready to go at the smallest thing. It just needed something to ignite it, something big that they could speak about.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes.
And the fact is that these are all feelings.
Right.
It's all about feeling.
Right. And being selfish and being, just so jealous and covetous for the black race that used to work for you, used to work in your farm, on your farmlands and in your houses, and
And now now most of the town hasn't owned houses, and now most of the town hasn't owned businesses.
Right.
Now they're professionals. They're not blue collar. They're not working in the mines. They're not working on what do you call it, lines? Those what do you call those? The
assembly lines.
Exactly. So
Yes.
you have most of white America, or I should say white Tulsa, that's dealing in farming. They're still dealing in farming. They're still dealing in factories. And then you have this burgeoning new town that has been pushed out
Yes.
of the everyday society, but they've been given the lowest jobs and a stream of income to do as they choose. And they choose to organize. They choose to educate. They choose education and organization and community contribution as opposed to self-indulgence. Unfortunately, you have a lot of our white components that actually are living in a world where all they do is continue to figure out how to subjugate others.
Exactly.
And they do it to one another in their towns.
Mhm.
We've seen it time and time again. You got the wealthy man who got all it, who owns everything. Everybody works for them for somehow, but they never get the town never gets owned. Pieces of the town never get bought by anybody but the big. This happens in small towns on a regular basis. The goal of this platform seemed to be, there you go. Education and community development was the priority. You have it whereas those wealthy owners make sure that the education that's being dealt out is what benefits them, which keeps things limited. So we talking about blueprint, y'all. Remember that. We can't go back to the who shot John.
And then you have to be
Get out of it.
when they come into your, when you have to also be very careful when you are successful as a Black owner. They come in and pretend to want to help or want to be a part of your establishment, and the next thing you know, you're shut down for some kind of illegal activity that you did not maybe not have realized something that they've done. I've seen that happen to some Black businesses as well.
Yes.
They come in and pretend that they want to be a part of, and next thing you know,
Investors.
there's trouble.
Mhm.
Yeah, investors, exactly. And then
Angel investors. And we what happens is that we're not building the community. We're not staying connected to the community, people who have the same like mind. And I'm gonna share something with you. Let me make something very clear. We're not saying, we're not doing the black and white thing. We don't follow the same false teachings and the false practices that never did work. This isn't white over black.
right.
That right there is a structured and construct that was created to keep people from working as human beings with each other, and that ignited that very activity. So don't believe it was don't even believe it had anything to do with black or white. That was all economics playing out. That was people living through economic times and taking on certain ideals around their needs. Because you can convince somebody that we doing good. It's our right when they have nothing.
Right.
You understand? And you don't have a clue how to get it other than to take it because you feel entitled.
Yes. Yes.
Because when you can build as a community, you're not entitled until you contribute. Get that?
Exactly.
And that's what we did. We had no choice. Let's talk about the structure. What do we do? Now, mind you, anyone who's interested in joining us in the actual structural conversations that take place on the back end, we will definitely have you be in touch with us. Go to P2G, get in touch with myself and Mr. Thomas. We're actually creating a group for this platform. We have a young lady who I will not put her name out there, but I will say that she's an amazing structural builder, and she has a passion and a heart for this. And we're trying to help start building people's interest in being a part of this process. And we can do so more than finances, right, guys?
Yes.
There's so much more needed than finances.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Millions of dollars can be included, but what happens if we don't have certain things?
That's right. You need participation.
And you
And
need all
skills.
those, right.
Some of the things
The
I want to say,
skills
shout
and
out
knowledge
Miss
and
Chocolate
tools.
Bay.
Yes, Miss Chocolate. Good afternoon.
Good
That's an educator,
afternoon.
yeah, that's it. That's the educator that believes and truly believes in home education and development of home education. And I look forward to her sharing what her story when she's on panel. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I learned from you is that, you need to get people of like minds involved. You got to be exposed to people who are of like minds to move processes, to move ideals in the world. And I think the most admirable thing you can do is teach your children at home and teach other people's children, including. I ran a daycare. First 7 years of my daughter's life, I ran a daycare. They didn't watch television. We played games. We discovered computer learning early on. And all the kids in my daycare learned to read very early. They went to school ready. But that I took on because, as opposed to turning the TV on and, letting them get into the boob tube, they had TV time, but it was very, like I said, we ain't get cable till my daughter, or oldest daughter was 7. My oldest was like, oh my God, mommy, there's shows when she visited other people's houses. But she didn't get to see them till she was 7. And the beautiful part about that was we discovered not just education, but fun education. Sound, music, connection, math, all connecting to one another. Colors, shapes, everything. What can we do if we teach a child? How? And this is what we do. How to do basic math. What if a 6-year-old learns his timetables up to 12 early on? Come on, talk to me. What do you think the outcome of teaching a 6-year-old their 12 timetables?
But they know that they can do a lot more as far as learning, and when they go in the classroom, compared to their classmates and stuff,
Exactly.
they have their knowledge is way more advanced. So it's like they're really way ahead of the game versus being on the regular level or way below the game of that of what you're teaching them.
I have a question. Does anybody know that they can teach a 3-year-old cursive in that same timetable? And the 3-year-old is gonna know how to use it?
Yes, absolutely. I ran a daycare too, Miss Ruby. I ran a daycare for a while. It was really, really awesome. But you're absolutely right. You can teach a 3-year-old. They are like sponges.
They are. They fresh.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And if you teach a child math and the application of math, you teach them a lot of things. There's a lot of things in the world that we don't understand, and we're like, how is it? But there is a mathematical formula for it. And if you teach children up to that math, the multiplication, how to solve these formulas, they have a whole different outlook on the world as they grow.
And that is why I asked that question. I needed an educator who is about the education and development to answer it. Now, thank you. Because that's exactly what I learned that early on. I didn't know it when my kids were little. I learned that about the time my daughter turned 12. And I realized, wow, I kept saying, I wish I had did this. And so it was shared with me that the younger a child, and she was like, Ruby, I want you to just put letters and numbers up around your kids, all of the kids in the daycare, and put them up there. And I want you to teach them the timetables up to 12. Start off with that. You will see that the learning process for those children and how they learn every subject, anything you throw at them becomes a different experience. They learn so much faster. They're able to, like Ms. Chocolate said, they're able to solve problems. Now, how do we convert this to the adult brain? Because I hear adults say it's too late for me. I'm so glad I'm almost done with this. I'm like, you're gonna die tomorrow?
Right.
Right, and that's
my
the thing.
Relatable to adult daily life experiences.
Yes.
My
mother told me, she said, I think you're going to be a professional student. I said, Mom, I would love that.
And here you are, Ms. B. I want you to think about it. We are lifetime learners, all of us. Everyone who's in this space is that we are defined as that, and you can see it because you're here in the space of continuing to educate yourself and share that education. You're honing it.
Yeah.
We continue at the later part of our life. I'm almost 50 and I refuse to stop learning. I'm asking questions. I love my millennials because I'm like, how do you do that? What you doing? What you doing? How does that work? And even if it look weird, don't it look weird, some of these things they do? I know I don't. Some of these things they do look a little bit, And then you look and see how it comes across to them, how that makes sense to them. Actually, they're putting their logic together because they're free. They're free to do so. Most of these millennials came to the world with that next level. Go ahead, Miss Sonia.
So we have a bunch of little geniuses out there.
Yeah, we really
Put us
do.
to shame. I just listen to them. I learn a lot from them. Like, oh, that's what that is. That's what that means. Oh, yeah. I feel bad. They make me feel like I don't know much of anything a lot of days.
And that's the point of being a student, a lifelong learner, honey.
Well, you can't feel bad about it because you got to understand there is trillions times trillions of things out there to know. This is why you have to be a lifelong learner. You have to keep learning because you'll never be able to know everything. And there's a saying that intelligence rules the world and ignorance carries its burden. And this is what I try to explain to adults. Like, in this time, there are some things you just have to learn. You have to research, you have to study, because if you don't, then you know, you're at the mercy of someone who understands.
Right. And that's what, so you want to hear something? What happens when you're ignorant and you have power?
You're dangerous.
We just saw it, didn't we?
Yes.
But you're not just ignorant with power. You're ignorant, you're stubborn, and you have power. And my husband just said it, ignorant, stubborn, and afraid.
Yep.
Instead of embracing, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I said with a huge ego.
Exactly. You know, a lot of us don't realize that it's going to take all of us to get to the next day. All of us to get to the next era in the world. Not some of us, all of us. We are always connected. If no one got anything from 2020, I got how connected we are.
Yes.
Right. I got that 100%. Anybody Ruby? It wasn't one place that got corona.
Oh my God.
Understand? When we are suffering as a planet, notice that as soon as we seem to clear the air for corona, now everybody want to be angry and go fighting and all that stuff again.
Because we can touch each other.
I'm like, exactly. So now I want to just come into a space now because we're talking about re-envisioning. We want to identify the problem, but we want to be able to see where the holes were. So like I said, trying to rebuild and restructure, we're not going to do the whole, we're not going to get the whole blueprint here. But it's time to start researching the blueprint. It's time to start talking about what they had that made them great. What is some of the things that y'all heard about or you saw in the video that made that town in Tulsa amazing? It's Greenville, right?
Unity.
Greenwood.
Unity. What kind of unity? Talk to me. There's several kinds that were going on there, correct?
Well, it was community unity, but it was business unity. It was not just economics, but it was cooperative.
Right. All the money stayed within the community because
it took a year to get it out the town, by the way. Their dollar, the dollar in that town didn't leave for about a little over a year. In the community. Takes in our community now, it takes a matter of hours. In any of our communities, literally about 6 hours.
Right. And I think the highest is about 30 days.
And that's something that we want to understand. That's economic structure. And when we talk about it, what does it look like? They had it. So let's talk about the life. I want us to, you know me, guys, y'all know me. I love to make believe. I love it. We gonna go back in time and we gonna beat them. We're gonna beat those people. We're gonna go put our feet in those shoes. Can y'all do that with me?
Mm-hmm.
Can y'all do that little
Great.
something with me right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna rebuild this. We're gonna rebuild. Let's start with that. We're gonna rebuild Tulsa, Alabama. Tulsa is it? Yeah. Tulsa, Alabama. Here I go. We're gonna rebuild Tulsa, Greenwood. And specifically, we're going to start becoming those people and think about their lives. Now, this is long before the massacre because those were their last days. But there was a whole life, a whole set of generations that led up to that time. I don't know if I have enough time, but I want to show you all what it looked like when that land was established. Oprah did a phenomenal video on talking about the migration into Oklahoma, the Black communities that actually created the people who migrated in to Oklahoma and the history behind it, because a lot of people don't know the history of how that came to be. We talk about the massacre, but we never visit the people's lives before that. And it's time to pay homage and give honor to those people's lives, not just how they died.
Yes.
Y'all think so?
Yes.
It's time. So everybody gets to take on in this space. Y'all get to take on a business owner or someone who you get to speak a history. Just imagine you living in that time, okay? And take on someone. I don't care if it's a wash lady or it's a bus driver or a bus boy, whomever. Everyone gets one, but you got to say it out loud. So we're going to build a story, and you guys are going to tell a story. Each of you get to tell your story. So Raymond, we'll start with you. Who do you want to be?
Hello. Who do I want to be?
Yeah, who do you want to be in Tulsa at that time?
Oh, okay. This is before the destruction, right? Just to clarify.
Yes. Well, let's go
Okay.
20 years before the destruction.
The movie theater owner. I love movies.
Movie. He's a movie guy. Okay. All right, let's get it popping. All right, Miss B.
Yes.
Okay, who are you?
Okay, I forgot the lady's name, but I know the one that started the first Black bank. That's who I am. If anyone wants to say her name, but she was the one that knew about finances. She was and I would say that all of us here are her descendants, and that's how, with being her descendants, we came into this P2G era where we're learning how to make finances just like the banks do. You know, we're creating our own economy by getting educated, by teaching, by learning on this awesome platform.
All right, now I'm just pulling up. I'm going to be pulling up some info so that we can be ready for this. And Miss Avis. So I'm writing it down too, whoever you are.
I would be the school owner, the owner of the school.
Miss Avis is the owner of the school.
Yeah, getting kids ready for all levels.
Yes.
All right. Now keep in mind there was also a Black college there.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So we had the schools and we had the colleges. So there's more there. Talk to me. Who's next? Miss Chocolate.
I'm gonna be the candy lady. I'm the one that you come and get your candy and your fudge to make your cakes.
Candy shop lady, I like that.
Yeah, I got the raw chocolate.
I got you, Raymond. Miss Sonia, talk to me. Who are you, my darling?
I wasn't on in time to see the movie. Wait a minute. Let me turn this.
But you get to pick a character, any person that you would think would be there, any business owner or a person that lives there, anyone.
Okay, for me, I would say a restaurant owner and event space.
Say event space?
Yep, and event space.
Okay. You're the restaurant owner. Okay. We're gonna talk about how all this connects. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Who's next? Kareem Bey, how you doing? Talk to me. Kareem, you here with us? You know you're muted. I hope you're not talking into your phone. It happens. Okay, we're gonna give that brother a minute. Miss Anointed Steps, welcome to the platform. This is one of our official speakers. She will be on shortly after this exercise. Hello, Lovey. Would you mind sharing who in Tulsa in Greenwood would you be at that time?
I would go for the investment firm, or the investor that helps keep everything going in the background.
Okay, that sounds like a plan to me. Miss Shelby, did you hear any of what we had going on, woman?
No, I had to go to the store and buy some more batteries.
No problem. I want you to, so we're all recreating. When we said we're going to re-envision Black Wall Street. We had that discussion. You caught that, right? Now what you're going to do, we're going to pick a character, pick someone from that time that you yourself would embody would be. Now, mind you, keep in mind, Miss Shelby is white. Does not matter what color her skin is. You get where I'm coming from? This happened to all of us.
Exactly.
It
I
happened
mean,
to
I'm
all
from
of us.
Tulsa, and my
And
family
she's
is
from Tulsa.
interracial anyways. Like, my husband is Black, so.
Now,
I
first of
don't-
all, you
I
gonna
don't
tell us who you
exactly
would be
get
then, because we
treated.
got to get started. Miss Shelby, who
Uh-huh.
you gonna be? Who you gonna be? Give me a business owner in that time.
I don't know. I don't have all my information with me right now. I can't even think of that right now. Hold on, let me get in my file that I got
You
together for this meeting.
You get organized. Don't worry, you'll get the hang of it, and then text it to me. You're gonna get the hang of this. Why would I? Oh, by the way, I'm the mayor. I'm just kidding. I'm joking, okay, guys? I am joking. I actually don't like playing political roles. That's a pain in the neck. But for me, I'm a hotel. I own the hotel. Okay. If anybody remembers something called the Green Book.
Oh, I thought you were wanting a specific name of some business owner.
No,
That's
not at
why I was
all.
saying that.
We
That's
don't
why I
know
was
the
like,
people
well,
back
hold
then.
on.
We hardly
I
got
wasn't-
names now. Well, just to let you know, you get to pick somebody that you would be like to represent someone in the town. And for me, I would be the hotel, like the hotel owner. She would be a teacher. So Miss Avis would be your boss because she's gonna run the school and you're gonna work with her to keep that school going. I'm gonna put you in there. She's gonna need some help.
Yeah.
All right. Did we get everybody? Now let's talk about how dollars and cents move. Wait, Alvin is still here. Honey, who are you gonna be?
The blacksmith.
I don't know if they had a blacksmith. What you think?
If you
Yeah.
have horses, you have car wheels, you have.
Yeah, we do.
built homestead, you have a.
He got a job.
Somebody better be an oil field worker because that's where all the money is here.
Okay, I'm just gonna let y'all know now. Alvin said he gonna be the blacksmith, and I just thinking blacksmith, and then he just told me every job that's connected to everything that has ever been made and used to run a town. Al got a job, yeah.
That's one.
All right. So now today I want us to come together. This is actually kind of a fun game because it helps you to step back into history. I love making believe, but I love making believe or doing make believe from reality. You know where I'm coming from? Miss B, did you want to say something? Go ahead, baby. Open your
Yes,
mic.
and you know what, Brother Alvin being a blacksmith, just think about it. Everyone that comes into town back then, they rode in on horses and carriages with horses. Everyone, or most everyone, went to the blacksmith and to the livery
That's pretty
stable.
much the
So
first thing
he
he
got
did
to
when he got to the
interact.
town.
Yes, he
Hold
got to
on,
interact.
Shelby. You gotta wait. Go ahead.
Yes, he got to interact with almost everyone in the town, so he knew who was coming in, who was
Everybody.
coming out. Yes, he knew everything. When the sheriff and the marshal didn't know everything.
And here I found it too. Good, I found the video. So we want to talk about it. Now, we all picked who we are, right? Everybody got to pick who they are? Let's do it.
Yes.
We got a short video to watch, and I wanted to give you a chance to get some back knowledge of how this worked, okay? All right. Most people talk about Black Wall Street, but Black Wall Street actually goes back to what's called the Trail of Tears. And you got to know your history so you can know what your present is going to look like and therefore plan your future. And this is where they came from. How they got there.
The Greenwood District was one of the most prominent and affluent Black communities in the country. It was a symbol of what is possible for Black people in America. But to understand the story of Black Wall Street, we have to go back to the Trail of Tears.
First Black people to come to Oklahoma were actually members of the Native American tribes.
The 5 tribes, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee, Creek, and Seminole, were slaveholding tribes. Some of them wanted to show that they were in allyship by mimicking what like the white settlers are doing.
Indigenous people were affected by anti-Black racism. That process invited them into the slaveholder culture, even as they were subject to the worst forms of oppression and discrimination of themselves.
When the 5 tribes signed a removal treaty, they had to remove their Black slaves too.
The Indian Removal Act of 1830 forcibly evicts Native American tribes in the Southeast and transfers their lands to white farmers to expand cotton plantations. Over 100,000 Native Americans and approximately 4,000 enslaved African Americans make the treacherous journey to Indian Territory, now known as Oklahoma. The over 5,000-mile brutal and deadly removal is known as the Trail of Tears and Death.
When everybody got to Oklahoma through many different ways, Black people were still enslaved here. They still were property, and they had to rebuild what the Indian tribes had in the Deep South.
After the Civil War, you had freedmen living in Oklahoma.
You have a freed Black population able to live on tribal lands in a communal way.
The Dawes Act passed in 1887, allowing the federal government to break up tribal lands into individual plots.
Black people in Oklahoma owned more land than in any other part of the country. About 2 million acres of land were allotted to the freedmen. So when you think about 40 acres and a mule and that false promise after the Civil War, Black people actually got that in Oklahoma.
Those land allotments become the seeds of more than 50 Black towns that emerge in Oklahoma. More than any other state in the country.
Once the 5 tribes received their allotment, then whatever was left, that was deemed surplus, and the government opened it for sale to whoever wanted to buy it.
O.W. Gurley was a Southerner who hailed from Arkansas, who came to Tulsa to purchase land. The land that Greenwood exists on was not land that whites at the time deemed as valuable, but it's land that could be sold to quote unquote a Negro buyer. Gurley purchases an allotment of land. his goal was to incubate a Black community.
O.W. Gurley opened a grocery store on what would become Greenwood Avenue. He was really able to tap into a lot of dynamics happening throughout the state where people would be traveling through different communities, and some of the freedmen ended up settling in Greenwood. They were able to provide some of that nurturing wealth.
Land for recently enslaved people is everything, because we have to imagine a world in which an enslaved person did not have property rights in themselves.
You got the picture? Now I want to imagine settling that land. Absolutely. Oh yes. There's more, actually. There's more to that video, and I want to see if I can get the whole thing and get it out to you guys. See if we can get a share on that video. Because what we need to talk about is that there's so much more history here that's not been actually touched upon in a lot of the stories that we're just getting and opening the door to. Because some of this, like I said, what happened with Tulsa massacres was suppressed by everyone, including the fire department. Y'all heard.
They have no record.
They have no record.
Yes.
There's no way someone torches a town and the fire department, even surrounding the entire town, is not made aware.
And they couldn't get in.
Oh, they were being blocked to coming in. So we need to start walking in those shoes. Let's take a walk. So I want you to imagine that you in this town, you're at your shop. Does everybody know who they are?
Yes.
All right. Okay,
I'm
so
the
you
bum,
say it again.
I'm the bum on the street.
Kareem, we're doing, you're being serious here.
I know. I had to take this phone call. It was important.
No, wait, I needed that laugh.
So who would, my question is who would you be at that time? You saw pictures, you saw the videos of those people and where they came from and what they had to overcome and endure to get to the video we saw with Tulsa. Now you saw the early beginnings of how they got there. And the gentleman Gurley, what is his name, Mr. Gurley?
The guy who went there and got the.
And he created I think I'm gonna have to be the grocery store owner now.
That's right.
I'll be the grocery store owner with the hotel upstairs. I'm just saying, we can work that out. So I like the way he worked it out. But I want everyone to pick someone to walk in their shoes. How do you live? What is life like for you? So we're gonna have a visitor who's never been there walking through town and visiting each one of your places of business. So today we have a visitor who happens to be a news reporter from a city newspaper somewhere. Give me a town close to Oklahoma, Shelby. Give me a state close to Oklahoma. I don't do geography. What's one of your states?
Texas.
Texas. So you got someone from Texas?
We have Colorado, Arkansas, New Mexico.
I think we're gonna work with Texas. We'll work with Texas. The Texas Tribune is sending someone out to your town, to Greenwood, to visit you. So every regular day, walking through town, they see that they have heard stories of this phenomenal town that has done so many great things. You have been, you as what you've chosen has been indoctrinated with the truth and the history from your ancestors and your great ancestors who did that trek in the Trail of Tears and survived it, to you being the result of that. Who are you? How do you live? How do you represent that history? And so first coming into town, we have, first up, we have a young person coming in and they're gonna run into, they see the candy store. There's a candy store in this town. Fine chocolates, made in store. Miss Chocolate.
Yeah.
And Miss Chocolate, this person comes in the store and says, hey, how you doing? Morning to you.
Good morning. I'm well. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. Hi, my name is such and such from the Texas Tribune, and I'm just here to come and learn a little about your town and meet some of your people. And just want to be able to, I'm going to be doing a story about how it is this town came to be. We know a little about your history, and I think I'd like to just get to know a little bit from the people here. Would you mind sharing a little bit about your experience here in this amazing town? What do you think, Miss Chocolate? Would you mind talking with me for a minute?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So we're gonna ask Miss Chocolate a couple of questions. I'll keep it simple, okay? So, Miss Chocolate, I gotta ask a question. What made you go in the candy business? Go ahead.
It came from my family. My family is a long line of farmers, and on our farm, we also had cacao trees. And so when we were moving and making this journey here, I collected some of the seeds from those cacao trees because they were small enough for me to bring. And chocolate has always been my favorite thing. It always reminded me of sweet memories.
Ooh, nice. Now, question, you said it ran in your family. I think that's amazing. Got a question for you. Would you share your recipe with us? Actually,
No, it's a secret family recipe. But I do have some raw chocolates, these fudge bars and whatnot over here. You can
I think I'll be getting a couple of those. How much of those? Give me a couple of these. I'm not allergic to chocolate. Anybody allergic to chocolate? All right, I'm gonna try those. But my question is this is a town that you grew up here, your family grew up here. Talk to me about the town. What do you like most about being here in Greenwood?
The thing I like most is the community. A lot of times you see people going back and forth to their businesses and whatnot, but because I'm the candy store, I get families that come in here together and they're able to have this memory together, pick out the candies that they like, and it's fun for me to see them bonding over chocolate.
I can just imagine. Well, Miss Chocolate, I want to say thank you so much for sharing your goods as well as your spirit with me about how this town is. And I know they're going to just love you because I think you're just amazing with the people. So I look forward to, I'm going to keep moving through the town, but who would you recommend I talk to next?
Well, like I said, I love the family dynamic. So I would recommend that you speak with one of the teachers.
All right. I'll head over to the school now. Where would that be? Would you be able to point me in the right direction?
Yes. Just chime in.
All right. Thank you very much. And you have a great day, Miss Chocolate. I appreciate you.
You as well. Come back before you leave.
Absolutely. So I am here and I've gotten recommended to head over to the schoolhouse where I'm going to meet two amazing teachers. No problem. We got you, girl. I'm going to meet up with the school owner and the school teachers. So I'm going to talk with the school owner and I'm going to let Miss Avis Ridley. Hello, Miss Avis Ridley. How are you today?
Hello, I'm doing great. Hello, how are you, Miss Ruby Thomas?
Excellent. I am coming to you all the way from Texas Tribune. We are doing a story about this beautiful town we keep hearing about. And we heard some really great things. And I just figured instead of having it be these stories that we come in here, I get my own experience and share it with everybody myself and talk to the people. Let y'all tell your story. Do you mind if I come and talk with you?
Don't mind it at all. And we just want to welcome you to our town.
Thank you very much. And I've been so welcomed by I got referred here by an amazing chocolatier.
Yes, okay, awesome, thank you. Yes, He's running a beautiful establishment over there. Yes.
I can tell you, I got the kids here, so you know I know most of y'all know about the quality of that chocolate and the candies. I can tell you, she gave me some good stuff. I'm excited. I gotta go easy though, because you know that sugar, I can't have all that sugar at once. All right. So Miss Avis, I'm gonna ask you some questions.
Oh, sure.
All right. So you founded the school here. What provoked you to be in this area of contributing to this town? Talk to us. Let us know what your views are on that.
Oh, absolutely. Well, actually, well, first of all, I come from a family of educators, and that's one of my, I feel like that's something that I could use to give back to the community. And kids are just, I love children. And so I just wanted to start the school in order so that I could, give back, as I said, and then, just teach them the truth about everything. And then we want our kids to be confident in themselves. We just want to change the dynamic of how they learn things in the traditional school. So that was one of the reasons for starting the school.
All right. Now, how is it going so far? How long you been in the school district? How long have you been orchestrating the school district?
Oh, it's been a little over 10 years. Yes. And it's going great. We have some really amazing teachers. And and feel free to speak with any of the teachers, but it's going great. Yes.
Now I'm going to ask a question. Something that people are concerned with is always going to be that with a town so self-contained that the quality of education matching up to its counterparts in the towns around you. How do you say that the education quality is in Greenwood in connection with the other towns close by?
Yes.
How would you score yourselves?
Yes, I think I would score as an A rating or 10. Yeah, but the quality of education, we're teaching our kids what they need, what they're going to be needing in the world around them as they get older. And as I said, as opposed to the traditional things that are usually taught, that in a lot of cases they may not even need. And so we wanted to, make some changes and make sure they're getting what they need, in addition to them having confidence and walking along their journey with a sound mind. Because it's, as being, children of, being Black kids, we need, they need that. That's the foundation that we feel like they need. Could use.
Well, I thank you for that. I mean, I would definitely love to talk with one of your teachers, someone who works with the kids. Would you recommend any particular teacher in your institution?
Yes, I sure would. We definitely have some amazing teachers, but I think that I would recommend you speak with Miss Shelby. She's one of our top educators. And thank you so much again for visiting our town.
Absolutely. And I thank you for sharing your story as well as contribution to this community. And may I speak with Miss Shelby? Miss Shelby, how are you today?
Hi, how are you? I'm great.
Excellent. I'm Miss Ruby. I'm coming from Texas Tribune to come learn about your here town and share from your perspective as a person here who works in here town and lives here. What do you think about the education system you're working in?
I love it. The teachers here, they really care about the kids. A lot of the kids here, their parents are at work quite a bit, and so we get a chance to still help them feel comfortable and know that they have a safe place to go to.
That's right. That's important for young people. And you're creating a safe space for them. Do you feel that they're challenged as a teacher? Do you feel that they're challenged enough to be able to compete around them with the world? with the towns that are out there and their components and their counterparts in the white towns?
Yes, they are. They are because a lot of us, even when the funds for the schools are low, a lot of us teachers will put our own money into making sure that we have enough of the things that we need to provide the right type of education, for their whatever level they may be at. We also are very we're very caring for like the special ed classes and stuff, because there's not very much funds going into helping those kids because they need more one-on-one learning than the other students.
All right.
So,
sounds like you teachers are vested in this school. In this education system. I am really impressed. I love the fact that you guys, you shared so openly and candidly with the situation in the education. And I look forward to seeing how you all fare going forward. Seems like you're on the right track to me. I see you soon, and I'll talk with you very soon. Thank you for this interview. Look forward to sharing that. Awesome.
Thank you. Have a safe trip back home.
You too. Thank you. Now, Miss Avis, I'm going to ask if you would recommend, I'm going to get to some more of this town. Who would you recommend I speak to next in this town that would be able to share a little bit about how it works?
Okay, so I would recommend you speak with our bank owner. Her name is Miss Belinda Washington. And
all right.
She's an amazing young lady. She's very well versed in the economic area when it comes to finances and wealth. So I would recommend you head on over there and speak with her.
All right, heading right over, and I will make sure I let her know you told me to come see her too, because I can't wait to talk about how things are going with the town. Because she speaks to everybody, I think that's going to be amazing. All right, let's do it. Miss Belinda, let's go find Miss Belinda. So she said, go down Peachtree Street, come across Oklahoma Avenue. I should run right into Sister B. Thank you. Here we go. Uh-oh. Sister B, how you doing? There you go. Hello, Miss B.
Hello.
My name is Ruby Thomas, and I'm from Texas Tribune. And I would just like to, I come to your town of Greenwood with stories on my heart that I've heard, and I would just like to hear it from the people, how you feel about how your great town is. And I heard that you are the owner of the bank.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming to speak with me. And I really appreciate my friend and one of the greatest teachers, Miss Avis and Miss Gold Empress. They're doing an awesome job over there at the school.
Yes, she sent me on over here. Too sweet. She said you're gonna have to go see our banker. And I'm really excited because I know you may have, you speak to a lot of people, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I really, really enjoy it. I really love sharing with people, and when we're out in the community and when we're at the restaurants and coming into town,
well, speaking of which, I'm gonna have to cut you short there because you just said something. I'm a little hungry. You have to talk to me about some of them places to eat. You said restaurants. I'm just gonna ask you, how do you find the loaning process for people of color to be?
The what process?
The loan process, because I can only imagine that people come to you for their banking needs in the area of buying a home, borrowing money for businesses to structure. And I can only imagine you being the center of that, of the funding in this town. So talk to me, sister. What's going on? How you feel about this? How do you feel? How strong do you feel about your businesses? How strong is this location, Greenwood, in that area? Talk to me about who talks with you.
Yes, anyone from the marshal, the sheriff, the mayor, the business owners, the teachers, the restaurant owners, and just the everyday people and what's on their heart as far as their dreams for their future and creating generational wealth. It's really awesome how that our town is so knitted together. Everyone wants to help each other, even when someone has a problem with their business or whatever. You know, we come to the town town calls, and we talk about those businesses, or we go to more experienced people who help them out, to help them to get their business flourishing much better. Just say like someone that wants to have a pie and cake shop, but they don't know how to go about it. You know, I have a business class that I start everyone out in, even when even when they I think in the future it's going to be the P2G, you know, business class.
All right, we like that. I love it.
Right now, yes, right now it's, you know, it's just the my bank's financial class. And a lot of people come in there like, well, I don't think I need to come here because, you know, I don't know anything about finances. I just have, you know, $20 or $30 right now, but I know I want to get a business started. And some of them, they may start out with someone else that has a business. They may work out in the back of their shop or outside, because it's more of an outside business. Or they may start at home baking cakes and pies. But we help them to grow their business and help them to see that down through the years, the next 10, 20, 30 years, how their business is going to look. And I know a lot of them like, well, by then, you know, I'm going to be too tired. But yes, that's why you're going to get some of your family members, some of your friends.
So you're sharing. So you are sharing steps on how to continue generationally how to run businesses. And do you find that people come to you as family units often to help and work together? Does that give them some collateral with you in the area of their longevity?
Oh, yes. I mean, that's really awesome when you have family members, you know, children, spouses, sisters and brothers that want to work a business. You know, they've been doing this job all their lives. And so now they want to start it as a business, you know, so it's more profitable, more people come to know about it. And even sometimes, you know, we have a couple of cousins that are in other cities that are getting ready to start, you know, to start businesses. So it's really catching on. It's really catching on.
Do you find that your bank is has room to grow? Meaning you're finding that your bank is going to be expanding anytime soon into other areas?
Yes, I really believe so, because my, you know, I started off doing accounting and math, and then I went into the insurance business for a little while. So now with me being in the banking business, the St. Luke Penny Savings Bank, you know, we have really flourished. And I also give my expertise and other business owners expertise. I ask them to share what they know with these other different businesses, and either into other towns, and they share their business. That's why we're the prominent Black city here in America, you know, but we don't mind sharing, you know. So it's just been a blessing what God has done in our lives in this town, and how that, you know, we love God, we love people, and we want to see everyone succeed with not only generational wealth, but also spiritual wealth, you know, just and family wealth. You know, it's really awesome. It's really awesome.
Miss Belinda, I can tell you, I have never experienced a conversation with a banker that was so well balanced and well rounded ever. And I tell you, I've done a lot of interviews.
Oh, wow.
I would love to know, do you have anyone who handles investments directly? Because I know you have your bank, but what about those people who need a little something extra? Is there anyone that does that in this town?
I believe so. Right now, that name has escaped me right now, you know. But if some of my other friends can shed some light on that information. And one other thing I would just like to share is like while other banks collapsed during the Great Depression, God allowed our bank, St. Luke's Penny Savings, to survive, and the bank eventually, we consolidated and everything.
You
but
were
we were
able to stay
thrive.
outside of the crash.
Yes.
And that is phenomenal. So I want to say thank you for being so, just so informative and so giving. I actually would like to have a little conversation with a couple more people before I have to go. But I want to keep in touch. You sound like a solid banking resolution for some of my things. Do know I will be in touch again.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're gonna find this investment owner. I heard about this person, and I think that some of your affiliates have done a collaboration. So I'm gonna see if I can locate this young lady. All right. Do you know of a Miss Anointed Steps?
Oh, what? Oh my goodness. That woman is so anointed in finances. Yes, I didn't even know she was in the area right now because she has all the businesses, but she just, she's really out there helping people too. So yeah, I didn't know she was in town, so
well, we're gonna get over there and catch her.
Yes,
now I gotta ask a question. I've been hearing about these kitchens and restaurants. You got one you want to recommend? Because I'm gonna need some food before I leave town.
Oh wow. Yes, Miss Pearlie's, I think Miss Pearlie's, I forgot who owned it, but Miss Pearlie is the one of the original owners. It may be Miss Pearlie's restaurant. Oh my goodness. I just had her to fix me up 3 sweet potato pies. So if you would like one, you and your husband, y'all can have one. Okay?
Absolutely. Love it. Thank you so much, Ms. Belinda. I look forward to talking with you again soon and finding out what you got going on coming forward, because I'm coming for a visit. I'll be back for a social visit.
Yes. Thank you so much.
All right. Now here we are. I have come to meet with Miss Anointed Steps. Miss Anointed Steps, are you here?
Give me 1 second.
Absolutely. No problem.
Okay, here we go.
So I just want to introduce myself. My name is Ruby Thomas, and I happen to be from the Texas Tribune. And we're doing a story on the town, on this here town of Greenwood, because we keep hearing all kinds of amazing, the rumors coming out of this town is phenomenal. And I would like to have y'all tell your story. I would love to tell your story for you. Would you mind sharing a little without divulging? Because I know you're at a private investment company, so I don't want to get all your business out there, but I want you to share what you see happening here in Tulsa, in Greenwood, because of what you do.
Well, thanks for coming by. Well, what we do here is we help the small business owners and all the business owners around in the local community. We help them sustain their businesses through investing in their businesses. Every business needs cash flow. So therefore, there has to be some sort of upholding in the background, whether it be shares to the public to help, or private investors. So there's some sort of investor that helped get that business off the ground, whether it be for supplies, startup, or funds to pay the employees or whatever it may be. They needed some sort of funds in the beginning. So that's where we come in at.
And so investment meaning that people can utilize you as a middleman for investing in other businesses and startups. And what have you seen great results in that? Like really returns on investments returning to your customers and your clients?
Yes, it is a very good, very big return on investment. The reason why is because it keeps the working capital going in the background, if so, business production goes lower, the business can still sustain during those times.
All right, we like that. Heard your town made it out of the crash pretty cool. I'm pretty sure you were happy about that.
Yes, absolutely.
Guys can pretty much skip that crash altogether. I love it. Now I gotta ask, how did you get into this? What was it? Was it family business, or did it just come about because of times in need? Talk to us.
Definitely times in need. Me being a problem solver and being a part of a family of a bunch of problem solvers. That's what we do.
Okay.
We see problems and we look for systems to build to fix those problems.
All right. So I'm excited because you have an investment firm, and then there was the bank. I spoke with the banker. Miss Melinda is awesome, and she always recommends. She completely recommended you.
Yeah.
You know, just these two entities being a stronghold in a town. I'm just really excited that that this is what's going on. But you know, there are so many. I'm just wondering, how do you guys do it compared to your counterparts? You know, what's the grease that makes all of this roll?
Well, the grease that makes it all roll is the fact that we understand we are community and we need just this to sustain our community. It starts with us from within. We don't look towards the outsources from the different entities that are around. They have showed themselves unworthy to help. So we look from within to solve that problem.
So community is the stronghold. I got you. I'm excited because I get to share this with we are much out there in Texas, very much the same, just trying to make our way in the world and build. And so looking for structures that are as strong as yours to take example from, so we can teach ours to move forward strong, just the way you have. I'm really excited about what's happening here in Greenwood. And I'm looking forward to meeting a little more people before I gotta go. You know, I've been here for a while and met some amazing folks. I don't know how you get through a day without just falling over yourself and crying, because you guys are awesome. I'm just digging this. I met the people take care of your babies. I done met the folks that handle the bank. I met the candy lady. Now that lady is just charming. I mean, seriously. And she got goodies to give too. I was excited. I got a little something of that. But I am getting kind of hungry. Where would I go for a really good meal in this here town?
I forgot who has the restaurant. There's a restaurant owner around here that's got a great dish that you just gotta try.
Now I gotta ask a question. Is her name Miss Sonia?
Yes, I believe.
I was gonna say that's
Anthony.
On over, because everybody keeps talking about Miss Sonia's spot and this dish I need to
Did you
get.
say Miss Anthony?
Oh yes, oh yes. That is exactly. Thank you. It's Miss Anthony. I'm gonna go over there and try it. What do you recommend I try? What's that dish called? So I'm gonna try something good.
Oh, I think she has some good Southern. I think she got some good home style cooking. So you might want to try that.
Try a home style plate. I would do
Yeah,
that.
ask her what's her plate of the day.
Oh, okay. Is that good, huh?
Yes. Any
Well, we
plate of
gonna
the
check
day
it
is
out.
good. So just ask what the plate of the day is.
Got it. And I want to thank you so much for sharing with us, because this has been an experience to be able to talk with someone who understands the structure of building business on the back end. You know, while we see those pretty stores down the street and all of the shops and all the tasty foods and smells, they had to get there some way, and someone sustains them. And we want to thank you for being there. Let's get it going. I'm gonna head over to that restaurant because I need some of them delicious smells.
All right now. And put in an order for me. Tell her I'm coming by to pick it up.
Yes, ma'am, will do. Here we are. Hey, hello there, Miss Anthony.
Well, good evening. How are you?
I am excellent, and everyone in town speaks highly of you and this dish you make.
Well, thank you so much. Welcome to Grandma's Fine Dining, Catering and Baking.
That's right. Exactly what I was saying. I was like, we got to get some of that Grandma's Fine Dining. And so got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
When you say grandma's, was it really your grandma's shop?
It
First
wasn't
of all,
actually, go ahead.
I'm so very sorry. I'm so rude. I think I'm just hungry and a little disturbed. My name is Ruby, and I'm from the Texas Tribune. I'm here to talk. I'm here to actually share the story of the townspeople with the people from our paper, because we've got so many great stories coming out of here. And I want to just share your perspective as a real resident and real owner in this town. My question is was your family, first of all, do you mind if I interview you? I just want to say that. Gotta ask
Not at all. Just an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
Welcome.
It's an honor to be here. Because I walked in here and it's smelling kind of right. Like that.
Well, thank you very much.
And was Grandma the first owner of this business?
No, ma'am, but we named it Grandma's Fine Dining because it's actually in honor of both of my grandmothers, who were excellent cooks and restaurant owners.
All right.
So family recipes have been
third generation?
Actually, it's second generation for the restaurant owners, even though those prior also cooked. But they didn't own the restaurants, but they were excellent cooks as well.
Okay, all right. And how do you find it feeding this here town, this great town?
I love it. I love it. We are a family type atmosphere. We support each other and we provide the best in this town. Here at our restaurant, it's not just a restaurant, but we do catering and we have a banquet service as well. We make it an elegant atmosphere, as you can tell. Look at our waiters and waitresses. They are professionally dressed, suit and ties. They are very polite, treat everyone royally.
Yes.
So
now I want to ask a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Where do you get all your ingredients from?
Pardon me?
Where do you shop? Where do you shop?
Where do I shop?
Yes.
Oh my.
So where do you get your supplies for this delicious food that you make?
Well, most of the food is locally grown because we want everything as much as possible to be fresh. So some of the things we grow on our own land, others, there are other landowners that grow crops and we purchase from them.
All right.
Yeah, so we try to definitely keep it locally, if at all possible.
So you get it from the local farms, the farms that are close by that sell. And I like that. I like that. Which means that I'm going to have me a delicious meal. What is your dish of the day?
Well, dish of the day, we have a specialty chicken dish if you're looking for dinner meal. Are you looking for lunch or dinner? What are you thinking?
I think it's about time I start hunkering down on some dinner because I'm going to have two of these more interviews before I have to go.
Okay, well, we have a specialty dinner for if you like chicken. There's multiple ways. We have a special seasoning for our fried chicken. We actually have a smothered chicken with a special gravy. Oh my goodness.
Ding, 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 ding. That will be my dinner tonight. Whatever you got smothered, I will take it.
All right, well, there's a host of sides to choose from, a host of sides. So any side you can probably think of, we probably have. So,
no problem. And I have a message to give you from Miss Anonymous there. She said to let you know that she'll be by later for her order, if you know what I mean.
All right, we'll have it ready for her. Nice and
that's right. So Miss Sonia, I want to say thank you so much for sharing your videos and your love and family with us. We hope that you continue to go on feeding people. And I'm looking forward to coming back to this town. I plan on eating right here.
All right.
Bring my family with me. It's been
a
great experience. I'll see you soon. Before I go.
Yes, ma'am.
I want you, I've been asking and getting some recommendations. Who would you recommend me to go to next? Who should I see next that I might want to visit? I got a few places I was thinking about. You know, I saw the candy store. I talked with the bankers. I talked with your school, which the kids are amazing.
Yeah.
Thinking about one of your co-business owners. You guys have a coalition for your business or a corporate, some sort of community, commerce organization.
We do have one, and it's only about a mile from here. If you go out the door here and turn right, it's literally on the same street. It's about a mile down on the left-hand side. You'll see a 3-story brick building, brown brick building.
All right.
And
where would I go? Who's
there? There'll be double doors when you first come in. There's a receptionist that'll be right there that can direct you. They have someone that can actually show you around. They'll give you a tour.
Okay.
And they will answer any questions that you may have, let you know what's available in the city and
all right.
Things operate around here.
Thank you for that. I really need, I even gave some direction from the directory. I'm gonna have you have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for for sharing this information with our readers. We'll talk to you
come
soon.
on back so we can treat you like the queen that you are.
You know that when I'm not working, that's my queen time. I'm gonna come on back and get some good taste, good feeling. And we gonna check out what parties y'all got going on here too.
All right, parties for all ages, even our little prince and princesses, we do it up for them as well. All right.
All right. Have a great day.
You as well. Bye-bye.
All right. So now I'm going to go take a little walk down the block and go visit. And I'm pretty sure I know someone that I'm going to see along the way. I run into this one shop. It seems to be the door is open. There's a lot of sound coming out of it. And then of course I see this looks like this fire shooting out of the door. So as I'm not trying to get burned up, I'm going to take a look and peer in because I am still nosy. And when I look in, I see a very strong looking Black man dressed in a leather cape covering his clothing. And he's wielding metal and welding. I guess one of his workers is helping him to weld. And so, he's warning me to step back, stay back, but I'm interested. I'm interested to find out what this gentleman does. He's the blacksmith, and it says it up top, the blacksmith. And so as I've ridden my horse this half a mile in, I'm gonna stop and see the blacksmith. And I'm going to talk to Mr. Thomas.
Yes, how I do.
Hello, Mr. Thomas.
All righty, how can I help you?
Well, my name is Ruby, and I'm coming from the Texas Tribune. I'm doing a little story on their town from the town's perspective. So while this is not a criticism in any way, we are taking a point of view of the people who live here and love here and grow here. Would you mind sharing a little bit of your story here? Because you don't see blacksmiths very often anymore.
Well, you can't have a town without a blacksmith.
All right now. That is the truth.
What's gonna hold up the barn? You get a hinge.
All right.
You got a wagon wheel to fix? I'm your man.
That would be you, sir. So you see a lot of people.
I think I know just about everybody here.
Okay.
Just about everybody.
So what do you think about the town and how it's growing since you were a kid? Were you here when you were a child, or did you just get here? Did you transfer in?
Actually, no, my dad was a blacksmith. My dad's dad was a blacksmith.
In this town?
In this town.
Wow. You got strong history.
Yeah, well, we came across the road of tears. We got here when it first opened. We were here when Mr. G opened up the shop.
Oh, wow, you were here?
Yeah.
How old were you?
Oh, well, I wasn't here. I was on the way, actually. I was kind of on the way.
But you were born in this town,
Yes,
I take
indeed.
it. All right. So some of the things that can you tell me any stories, exciting stories about something that you would have seen when you were a kid? growing up in this town?
Exciting story.
Yes, one of your favorite memories of growing up in this
One
town.
thing when we got the store first got here and you got all the stuff, on Sunday after church, everybody go to the store, you get that piece of candy from the store in the back, You go in there with your mom, your dad, and you get that little piece of candy for about a penny. It might have been
I
less
got
than
mine
that.
for 5 for a penny.
Might be a little less than that, but I was not unhappy because I got either my dad bought me a sucker or a piece of chocolate, and we got that lady who owned the shop over there, the chocolate lady.
Yep.
She makes some real good chocolate. Have you tried it out yet?
Absolutely. She's amazing. I got some of her fudge. It was awesome. Now, my question is do you find yourself doing a lot of business with the other business owners in town?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I got people need nails, they come see me.
Mhm.
They need, their horses' shoes.
Okay.
They need, they need a spike for their door or their barn. All those things. We do all that. Come in, you might want to make a piece for your door, something different.
Oh, I see.
And one of the big things we make, what do you call them things? The dinner bells. We do a lot of that.
Do a lot of dinner bells.
Do a
I
lot of
see.
dinner bells,
Well, speaking of dinner bells, I just had some of the best food you ever did try. Have you been over to Miss Sonia's shop, to Grandma's?
Every Saturday.
That's what I'm talking
Every Saturday, being a single man in this world, you got to go find a good meal.
about. How are you still single?
Kind of hard, spend a lot of time in the blacksmith shop.
Well,
Not much time for relationships, kind of.
got you. Well, the right kind of woman's gonna find you, don't you worry. And thank you so much for your candor. This was awesome, and you are a connecting block in this community, I can tell.
How long you gonna be here from Texas now?
Well, I am heading out tonight after this last couple of interviews. I can't wait to tell this story. I can't wait to tell the story of you all. And I thank you so much for sharing your information. I look forward to you when I come back. I done got convinced I'm gonna be back.
Pleasure.
All right, have a great one. We'll talk
Make sure
soon.
your horseshoes are good before you leave now.
Oh, you know that. Your boy over there took care of me. I'm ready to step. Okay. Heading back up the block. I got some more folks to see, I think. All right. I'm gonna check in. Now, before I go up that block, have you ever heard of Mr. Raymond? Absolutely.
Yes,
Mr. Raymond, are you with us?
Hey, how you doing? We're still at the store shopping, so I'm on
It's
mute.
all right.
How you guys doing?
Can you share?
Yeah, for like 5 seconds.
Sounds like a good plan. So tell me, talk to me.
I
You are
am
the town.
I am the #1 town movie theater production studio for movie production and animation, and with the future technology that nobody has heard of yet.
Wow. And this is what you brought to the town. How does everybody must really love coming to see to your shop, to where you're at. How do people like the movies? Now, my question, because we know that there is Jim Crow in other parts of the city outside. How is it for the Black constituents? Do you find that they utilize the movies as much as the white movie goers, or do you find that there's a loss in that for movies here in Tulsa?
Well, I find it depends. Well, it actually depends on the time that people wake up, right? So if it's the morning and people have to get stuff done, right? But before they go to their main meeting, they may come for like a 10 a.m., say 20 movie special. And then after that, they go towards their business or function. So we have seen a lot of people, from mixed generations. And then, since it is in the light of Jim Crow and all that, some people prefer to sit upstairs or downstairs, but we have an open door seating policy. So if you want to sit upstairs or downstairs, don't matter. There's no place like saying you're upstairs, you're downstairs, because everybody should like a good movie and popcorn, period, because it's supposed to bring people together. So it's your choice where you want to sit.
Exactly. So being in Greenwood, I can only imagine that the options for having the front seats are used often.
Yes, the option is open for everyone for the front seats.
Are you
There is
full
no
house?
a full
How
house.
often are you full house?
I would say, well, we do matinee special. We do matinee specials. So movies, instead of being 25 cents, they're 5 cents a special for the matinees.
Okay. I can
So
imagine. Where do you get your supplies from?
that is a good question. Well, we first reached out to Harry Tubman. I'm playing. I had to throw it in there.
Raymond.
I had to throw it in there.
Get
So
back
no.
in character. Let's go.
Okay, all right. No, it's all good. So we get our supplies from, California and also Atlanta. Well, up and coming Atlanta, because we know there's different, actors wanting to act. So we want to supply that viewpoint. So we also have contracts with the trains as well within the city. So as the trains ship, the cameras, and I believe they're called 65. So we put those 65s on the main cameras, and therefore we show film. Now some people want to see silent films, and some people want to learn about what the new film is when they have actually audio in the film. So there's a special for that. It's a little bit more value. So therefore, instead of say 50 cents for that movie, it'll actually be probably 75 cents for that one.
So it sounds like the movie business is booming. What about, so I'm going to ask you one last question, and I must get going so I can go put all of this in print. Exciting. Yes. You guys have such an exciting, this town is just popping, is what the young people say. And so what do you think about, well, my question is, where do you shop for concessions? Because I can only imagine that the bulk of your finance is really covered in concessions. I mean, that stuff is amazing.
Yes.
People eat all day.
The people eat all day. That's definitely true. I'm definitely one who loves to eat. So, and I definitely understand that. So, in order to supply concession, what we do is we go to the local grocery store, the local shop that has the candy, that has the water and the soda within the community, and then therefore, so everybody wins, everybody benefits within the local shop. So the candy store business owner we go to purchase the candy, and then from there, we redecorate it, for the movie theater itself in order to have that profit margin as well. And then we also made an arrangement, like if there's any gross profits or gross sales, we want to give back and also redistribute. So we may give 5% back based on total revenue sales.
Amazing. I am loving this town. I may have to move. I'm really excited. I am excited to be here. It seems that you all have a connected business sense and a sense of community as well as generosity. Yes. I've heard nothing but that sort of conversation the whole time. All of my interviews have blown me away. And so while everyone else is trying to dig up your dark secrets, at this time, I'll be sharing your stories and your existence. Now I've got to ask something, Raymond. Are you first generation for this type of business in your community?
I would say for myself, I am first generation movie theater owner for the community.
Does your family work with you?
Yes and no, because some of them believe in the, let's go on a farm. Let's be on the farm for, say 20 hours.
So a good portion of them are still farmers, and they work the land.
Yes, they work the land. Yes, they work the land. And so I happen to be the one that says, hey, the land is cool, but, I want to also show people how to till the land, not just work it, so that work ethic comes from there, and just teaching ways to leverage that production.
Awesome. I want to thank you so much for you just sharing your information with us and excitement for what you do. I look forward to coming. When I come back, I'll try to catch one of your movies. My goal is to be a part of the experience. I only had a little bit of time, but what I got is powerful. So I hope that you all get to read my story and share the stories I will share with everyone. And I look forward to returning to your town and enjoying some more and a little slower pace. Okay, now I'll be heading out right now. And I will grab a little bit of everything. I'll make sure I get some of that pie and some of that chocolate before I leave. Let me just make sure that I'm here. Okay. All right. Why did we do why did we do the exercise that we did? How was it? First of all, how was it for you all?
Well, I loved it. I loved it. Even I'm out here with family shopping, I still had the headphones on, so I was listening in the whole time. And I just want to share this tidbit. My family said, you're still on the phone? I said, yes, an entrepreneur's life never stops when you're making a difference in people's lives. We're always on go mode. It's not just a regular 9 to 5, but I definitely love this experience because it gets us in the mindset of how everybody patronizes each other within the community and also from a standpoint of positivity and growth. So that's what I like the experience to get in a character in relation to how we treat each other on that positive level with 100% confidence. So I love it.
I love it too.
Yes, I
Anybody
did
else
too.
want to chime in?
That's my cousin right there. He left the family farming business to get into theater.
Really? I love it.
Hey, cousin.
We're making connections. Anybody else related in the room? How was it for you all? How did it go? How did you feel about stepping into the roles of the people who built that town in Tulsa? Who built that town and the love behind what they did, how they gave their lives,
I like how I think it was Miss Avis that did the schools with me. Like the schools like that really are like that here. Like we're actually going through some court stuff right now with our schools, where they're trying to put in on the ballot the thing that they're gonna vote in. It will take money from the public schools and give it to the private schools, which makes no sense because these families can already afford to pay for private schools. So why would you take money from these rural public schools, like the ones that are in the country that don't have much? Like you don't give those options to the lower class kids to where they could choose to go to a private school, And so it's a big deal right now.
So that for you, it kind of hit home. And we could tell because where you were coming from was what you're up to today. And I love it because you put yourself into a character you could be. These women and men who were a part of that system, that education system, they had to have a desire for a brighter future through the children. They had to have that. Shelby, I'm going to mute you. Okay, don't worry, I got you. It's just the sound is in the background. I just want everybody to understand that we aren't that different today. Hey,
I apologize to everybody on the panel. It seems like everybody just want me to do stuff right now when I'm in class,
it's
right?
Okay, brother. It's all right. We got you.
I know that's right.
But look,
I thought it was a nice exercise so you could take your mind and put it into the situation of community development.
Yep.
How each entity depends on the other entity. It's not like a single entity. It was like one unit. That each individual, and I didn't know that the money stayed in the community for a whole year. Man,
it's not hard because I want you to think about it. You had from the bank. Okay, so first of all, everyone puts their money in the bank. Let's talk about the structure of that. And I'm gonna try to keep it short because we're at the 7 o'clock hour. I try not to go over 2 hours or anything we do. But I'm gonna be really honest. Let's just look at it. I want you to follow the road. Schools are funded by the state. That's a contribution from your taxes, the things that you pay into the government pays for your education system. But when you have a high level of productivity and businesses that are flowing, you'll get those funds. You get more funds for your education system. That's the first thing. Small businesses pay a large portion of the taxes. You know how? Because small businesses are how people pay their bills. They have to do commerce with one another. They work and the finances flow to the businesses. When people go to work on farms, and these are people in Tulsa who worked in towns they could not shop in. So what happened with the segregation laws, it created this bubble for this resolution. It created the grounds for this type of resolution. First of all, I want to just come out of, I didn't realize she was still in, there was still a spotlight. Let me take that off. All right, cool. Sorry, y'all. I'm looking at the video and I just wanted to see this. So just want to come out, want to say thank you for everyone who, before we'll continue the conversation, we'll finish this. But I want to make sure that we say thank you to all those who have joined us in YouTube and just those who get this, whether you're new to the channel or you just got here or you've been here before. I want you guys to like and subscribe. Share it with your friends and family. This conversation isn't ending. We just have to end the stream because the conversation has to take another level. And this level is going deep because we must understand the road a dollar bill travels in order to understand how it affects your community. And that's what we're about to go into. We hope that you join us from the link that we've added to join us in the conversation for next week's conversation. We will be doing interviews on the coming week for the new panel. And we'll continue this conversation of figuring out how we can rebuild and discover like I said, the blueprint for Black Wall Street and start creating our own Black Wall Street movement going forward. One that works with people who are much more connected and one that works to fill the gaps where they were missing. We thank you and we hope that you all join us. Don't forget to go to p2gnetworks.com. Join us because we have classes and we have all kinds of activities we do together every single day. Something for you to connect with the peoples that have the same way of thinking. Like minds create strength and strengthen communities. We'll talk to you soon.